The United States has announced allocation of $700 million of military aid to Ukraine. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Kyiv. Their visit was only confirmed after the top U.S. diplomats had left the Ukrainian territory. Out of $700 million, $300 million will be used to allow the country to purchase necessary weapons. The rest of the money will go to Ukraine's regional allies. The U.S. has already sent $4 billion in military aid since Biden's term began last year.
In terms
of the humanitarian assistance, hundreds of billions of dollars of assistance has already gotten in, not only to Ukraine, but to surrounding countries that are caring for Ukrainians who've been displaced, who are refugees. Literally every day as we speak, aid is going in. But what I'm seeing, at least, is that aid is getting here and other distribution points. It's getting out the door incredibly quickly.
They need long-range fires. You've heard them express a need for tanks. And we are doing everything that we can to get them the types of support, the types of artillery and munitions that will be effective in this stage of the fight.
This was Zelensky's first meeting with top U.S. officials since the invasion began in February of this year. The meeting comes at a time when thousands of people have died and millions have been displaced. Kyiv is desperately seeking relief for Ukrainians who are trapped in Mariupol. Ukrainian officials say that the country is in immediate need of more weapons. This includes anti-missile systems, anti-aircraft systems, armored vehicles, and tanks. In a tweet, Zelensky said, and I quote, "Ukrainian people are united and strong. Ukraine-US friendship and partnership is stronger than ever." During an interview on YouTube, Zelensky's aide, Oleksiy Arestovich, has repeated Ukraine's appeal for offensive weapons. He said as long as there are no offensives, there will be a new Bucha every day. He referred to the brutal killings in the town of Bucha, which recently came to light and shocked the world. Arestovich has also pointed out that the defense is on the brink of collapse in the Black Sea port of Mariupol. The United States has been a leading donor of weaponry to Ukraine. It is also one of the key sponsors of sanctions against Russia. But this is for the first time that Biden administration's top officials have made their way to the war-torn country. Several European leaders have traveled to Kyiv in the past to show their support. Meanwhile, as tensions continue in Mariupol, Kyiv has now invited Russia for negotiations near the Azovstal steel plant. Earlier in the day, Kyiv had also called for a truce in battered Mariupol. So far, there has been no particular response from the Kremlin on the proposed talks. On Sunday, the United Nations Ukraine Crisis Coordinator also called for an immediate stop to the fighting in Mariupol. After the latest attempt to evacuate trapped citizens in Mariupol failed, Kremlin, meanwhile, claims that Mariupol has been liberated. For Ukrainians, this Easter has been unlike anything they have witnessed in the past. Many are witnessing bombardments as Russia continues attacks. On Sunday, 5 civilians were killed and 5 were wounded in Donetsk. And on the 23rd of April, a missile struck the city of Odessa, which left 8 people dead and 18 others wounded. Russia's defense ministry said it had targeted a major depot stocking foreign weapons near Odessa.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.